Roger, Eagle. Go for landing, over. Roger, understand. Go for landing. Eagle looking great. Houston, the Eagle has landed.
What time is it?
5:30, sir.
Hello, my friends, and happy Friday. I am your host today, Graham Nolan, and I am a writer, artist, and publisher of Compass Comics. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about comics. It's Friday. We're going to do a chill session. I've got original artwork to show you guys for the latest campaign that's up and running right now, which is JOE FRANKENSTEIN 3, The Eye of Ra. And I also have original pages from Escape from Monster Island, which will be launching in October. So got some fun stuff. We're going to just chill and hang out for a little bit. Haven't done this in a while. And we're coming to the end of summer. And I thought, you know what? It's about time I did this again. Let's see who's in the room. Chris Thacker is here. Hello, Chris. Kino Reviews, Sequential Treasures, Bullet, Dan Genovese, Marcus Kelligrew, Past Master Dan, Zaid Comics, JP Roca, Cigar Gangster. It's nice that you guys could take off work like a bunch of bums like me and join me this afternoon. I'm always worried about, Marcus says he can't handle the commie bots while driving. The other night on the landing party, we got attacked by these bots. So I set the settings again like I did, like Anna had showed me to. So hopefully, Marcus, we won't run into that today. If we do, you better pull over, son, and get to work. Brent Mackey is here. Hello, hello. He's just been binge. Oh, hey, Phil. He's been binge. Let's try it again. Binge watching a few episodes that he missed of the landing party. Ron Garney's friggin' crazy. Yeah, Ron's a mental case, but we love him. He's great. Super talented guy, too. Joe Bernardo is here. Rick 1662. Excellent, excellent. Kyle Miller says he's still at work and getting that overtime. Yeah, stick it to the man, Kyle. Beautiful. All right. Oh, Spaceman's here too. Hello. Henry Jeremek. I think I missed him. Yeah, people are rolling in now. That's cool. So it's Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Western New York. It's been a hot summer, hot and humid. So I'm sort of looking forward to fall. And speaking of fall, what is today? Today's the 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. So what? Sunday's the 1st. That means Sunday I got to start getting. I've already started, to be honest with you. Getting together my movie list for the 31 Days of Monsters, which starts October 1st. Every year, October 1st through the 31st, usually in the mornings, we discuss a classic and modern monster movies all the way up to Halloween. Super fun, and I hope you guys will tune in for that. I've got a couple. I always try to find new stuff to put on that we haven't covered yet, and I haven't repeated yet. And I've got a couple new ones here that I've already been taking notes on that I've seen or somebody's recommended, and I've written them down. So it should be fun. Marcus says October, the greatest month of all. So let's start off with, we'll show a little JOE FRANKENSTEIN. If you guys have questions and stuff, feel free to participate. Since that's the live campaign, we'll start with that. Let me present this. Now, Anthony does this all digitally. So I don't have the originals in my possession to show you. But we got a bunch of pages here, which I don't think I've shared yet, which will be really cool. Let me, is that full screen? I think it is. Let me get over to it. Yeah, I'm a boomer. I said it. Okay, here we go. So, for folks that don't know anything about this, and I hope there's many of you watching that are seeing this for the first time, Joe Frankenstein 3 is the third in the Joe Frankenstein saga, written by me and Chuck Dixon, the legendary Chuck Dixon. It's our love letter to the Universal Monster movies that we loved growing up as kids, but with a modern and adventure edge to it. It's also a love letter to high adventure, and Joe Frankenstein 3 is no exception. This one is really high octane. It takes place in 1927, and we're going to meet Joe, the young boy from the first two books, and his and the monster, of course, who's known as Mr. Lazarus, and his great, I guess, would be his great grandfather, maybe great grandfather, Frederick Frankenstein, and they're in search of a Egyptian staff called the Eye of Ra, which the ancient Egyptians used to destroy a vampire invasion way back when. And in 1927, the vampires are building up steam again, and Frederick and Mr. Lazarus, the monster, are trying to find this thing, and that's what this adventure is about. It's about these guys. It's a mystery, it's a hunt, and we also get introduced to Lord Golgotha and his origins, which we saw in the first Joe Frankenstein book. Well, we didn't see his origin; we saw Lord Golgotha, but now we're going to find out some background on him. Anthony's stuff is very kinetic, very film-like, I think. This feels like you're sort of looking at a still from a movie, but Anthony cartoons, which is what I really like. I like somebody who pushes drawings and uses cartooning techniques to make these two-dimensional things come alive. I have no love whatsoever of these photorealistic comics that look like photographs. I'm not talking about using SketchUp and stuff like that for mechanical things or backgrounds and stuff like that. That's just a tool that you can use, but you should push those too. But it's the actual drawings of the figures and stuff that look, obviously, somebody took photographs and they're boring and lifeless. And you can't say that about this. Anthony's stuff is nice and dynamic, which it's just what I really like. Look at this. Let me see if I can blow up on his face a little bit, because this is really cool. Oop. There we go. Look at that. That's really awesome. And this guy, the vampire, and then the monster picks him up and he sees the overturned table. And that's a dull edge, man. And this is not going to end well here. Squish right through, impaled. And it's a wooden leg, too, of the table. This is a great shot right here. Where, oh, how did I do that? This is a great shot here where Frederick is firing his Webley. Isn't that great? Great action shot here. Taking the butt of that Webley and busting open the head of that vampire. That's really cool. I really like this shot here too. This third panel where he's jacked up against the wall, just the way his eyes look. He looks afraid, but not out of control afraid. And then Mr. Lazarus takes one of those table legs and decides to use that as a stake and go right through them. This is great. This is going to be a lot of fun. Anthony's been teasing me by posting individual panels for the next group of pages, and I love them. They're looking great. Okay, so that's what I have in right now for JOE 3, and let's switch over to let's see if that did it. Oh, I gotta send the screen. No, here we go. Okay, first up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to these are pages from Escape from Monster Island that I've been working on, and I've decided to go ahead and do these traditionally, ink on board type of stuff. The last few projects that I've done, actually everything pretty much since I started with the Canoe, has been done digitally, and but the original Monster Island and Return to Monster Island were all done traditionally. So the third part of the trilogy, I felt to have that same look, I should do traditionally as well. But what I do is when I scan the artwork in, I do the formatting and all that kind of stuff. But then I go over and I'll add digital gray tones, digital effects. If there's face that I don't like, I'll rework it, because sometimes small faces, you start going on it. And then, in fact, I just had this happen on a page, and I'll show that to you in a little bit, what the inked page looks like and what the finished page looks like. And it's much better. It's just, I was looking at that finished page and I'm like, something's not right here. This is not doing it for me. This panel's killing me. It's killing the life of this page. So once I put it in digitally, I just put a layer on, redrew it, and played around with it, and I got it the way I wanted it. So that way, it all comes out looking like you want it to, which is what it's all about. All right, so this is where are we here? Come on. Ah, here we go. I'm less prepared than I thought. Let me get this shit in order here. Well, I got some commissions too, which I'll be shipping out this week to people from the Return to Monster Island campaign, and I'll show them to you too, so you can see what those look like, what those originals look like, which is pretty neat. Oh, there's okay. All right, so here you can see. Let me just pop this out. All right, so this is the original artwork for the splash page. This is a crappy piece of Bristol that I had, so the ink was really not very black. It was just getting absorbed and sucked in, but it was black enough to scan and work with. So I mean, everything is there, the drawing and all that. It's just that the ink isn't all that dark. So once I scan it in, you can see everything got cleaned up. Gray tones got added. I added textures to the stones. And then I put the star field in there and the nebula in the background. So that's page 1. These will all be, I'm not showing anything at a turn, because all these pages, these first 10 pages, when I get all 10 done, will be on the campaign. So you'll see them ahead of time. You'll see them there as well. Okay, so there's that one. And let's go to the next page. Okay. So this is a double page spread, which is upside down. There you go. All right, so that's Monster Island popping into another part of the universe. This rocky asteroid type planet, and rocks and meteorites and shit flying around in the sky. And then, the force field containing the atmosphere and everything they need on the, including all the monsters on the island there. All right, so then here is the finished version with the digital enhancements. Again, textures on the rock, a gray tone, to show the what's the reflections, I guess, the reflections on the sphere on the island. Okay. Next up is that's page 2 and 3. So then we have page 4. So here's page 4. We go inside, and we meet our characters again, and for the first time for anybody who didn't read the other 2 books. This one's pretty solid in black and white. It's a nice sense of contrasts and stuff. But then here you can see it, when it's been enhanced a little bit. There's a brush that I like to use for this texture back here. I like to define the shapes for the colorists, shadows and stuff like that in gray tones. So, if you've read Ghost of Medical McKee or Alien Alamo, you know that look. That when the color goes over those gray tones, it looks really cool. Do it this way. Okay, so here is page 5. We have our characters discussing stuff. I'm getting to play with some Kirby tech because that's what Monster Island is all about. Is just honoring the Kirby monster stuff as well as the Roy Crane, Buzz Sawyer stuff. All right, and here is the. Nope, that's the wrong one. There it is. So you can see how this one got enhanced. I added shadows to Duke's face, Rooster's face, little bits here and there. All right, here's page 6. Again, having fun with this Kirby tech here and this stuff too. I think the next page, the next page is where I got to really kind of pull out the stops a little bit on some Kirby tech, which was kind of fun. All right, and here's that one, all loaded up. Again, I put a texture back here. I put a gray tone over this foreground piece to separate it. Just little touches, to help guide the colorist. Okay, now this is an interesting one because this is the one I was telling you about where I had problems with. Let me just. There it is. Okay, so here's the Kirby tech I was talking about. That was a lot of fun. And then here's the panel in particular. That one right here. This face is horrible. The figure is horrible. And as I started inking it, I realized that the head was off. Nothing was working on it. Duke's head in the foreground looks great, but her just it wasn't doing it. So I, when I scanned it in, I noted to myself that I was going to fix that, and And here's the, let me blow it up a little bit for you. Here we go. So you can see the difference. I changed her posture, proportions are right, and she's more on model. The problem with, doing stuff traditionally like this is like, if you could feel this, you'd feel there's whiteout all over here too. For some reason, the pen was picking up rag in the paper. It wasn't giving a nice thin line. It just, there's a feeling to it. You know when you're struggling with something, and I was fighting with this damn panel. So, I love to be able to at least go in there and fix it digitally like I did here. And then this is, if you've been following the visual storytelling, I think you'll get a kick out of this final page here. So they have to make these new flight suits because they got to go down to that asteroid, and Duke helps design them. And what he designs for Mac is not something she's too enamored with. And she gives him a good whack, and then you can see he's got a Band-Aid over his nose there. This is comics, folks. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have that one here. Hold on a second here. I should. Hold on. There it is. I didn't create a JPEG for it, so I'm just going to open it up in Photoshop, and I'll share that screen. There we go. Give me a sec here. Stop screen, present, share screen. There we go. There we go. So you can see, some pages need more help than others. I mean, I could do it old school and do cross hatching and that kind of stuff, but I like the cleanness of using gray tones. It also kind of goes back to the first Monster Island that I did in Craft Tint, which was in black and white and all done in gray tones. So I like adding these digital gray tones so you can see like the shadow behind her when she's opening up the door in the third panel. That's not there. Defining some of the shapes on her body in the big panel here, as her, hips are arched, there's going to be a shadow coming down on this part area. So there's stuff like that. And then also the design of these costumes is there's a luminescent piping on it. And I can show you on this one because I have it in Photoshop here. Oh, no, that one's flattened. Yeah, that's no good. I got to actually fix that. I lost the layers to that. Yeah, the piping is done on layers. So there's areas that go over the black that have this like luminescent piping, which is going to look really cool when it's printed, but you can't really see it on that stuff. Okay, so here's another aspect of where I went digital and changed things. And that's this is the original cover, and I've shown this colored and everything else. And what I decided was I didn't like the piping designs that I had on here. They were way too complicated, and I knew if I was going to do a whole big book of it, it was going to be a real pain in the butt to do. It was overly complicated, so I simplified them. And since I was I had to create different layers to fix it so that Greg, when he could just drop those very same layers over the color without any problems. But since I was in the neighborhood, as it were, I decided I didn't like Mac's face here. Again, it was the same type of problem I was having. I was dealing with small images, and I've got some cheater glasses so I can get up close to them, but I was fighting it. I was struggling with it. So I had to change that. And let's see here. And here's the adjusted one. So let me just blow up on Mac's face here so you can see that. It's a little too big. There we go. Okay. So I went in, fixed her face, fixed all the piping. I did a little touch up on his face as well. I took out some stuff. But this is much better. Look at how much cleaner her face looks. Okay, take a look at that face, the hair, the eyes, and then on this one, you can see she's got black eyes. It's like too thick underneath the underlayer there. So since I was doing that, I figured I would just fix that outright. So that's what I've been doing lately is while Anthony's working on the Monster Island stuff, I've been busy working on Escape from, or he's been working on Joe Frankenstein. I've been working on Monster Island. So, and then also getting I had to get the commissions done as part of Return to Monster Island. We weren't supposed to fulfill that till September, and we're already halfway through. Julie's been really working hard on that, which is why I got to get these original artwork out to the folks that deserve them. But I thought I would share, the originals so you could see it while I still have them in my possession. This is one of my favorites. I love this one. It's the Shinu versus Batman. I just like the contrast of the white and the black and the spatter. And you sort of can feel the wind. I think that one's a cool one. Actually, all these came out really neat. This one is really badass too, because it's like the enveloping cape of the Batman. If that dude you ran into in an alleyway, that would make you think twice about your life of crime, wouldn't it? Make me think twice. This is the Batman I love. I mean, this nihilistic armor plated, Superman basically, who can never do wrong, who can always figure out everything, is boring to me. I can't stand it. I like the Dark Knight Detective. And this Joker one, I love drawing the Joker. It's my favorite villain to draw. This is a sort of a homage to, is it Death in the Family? Where he kills Robin? I think it is. Got the blood all over in red. So it's a black and white drawing with just blood. Sort of like how the Shinu book was. But, yeah, and you see Robin in the background here laying all beaten up. That was a fun one. And then, of course, my dear old son, Bane. Yeah, that one came out cool too. I was really happy with this round of commissions. I thought they came out really great. It's fun working on those. I only do the commissions as part of my campaigns because I just don't have the time to do them and give them the thought and the care that they need. So I make them part of the campaigns, so I'm not inundated with them all year round. So let me take a look here. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to share. I showed you the cover. That's that. If we do. Okay. Um, so what I want to encourage everybody, if you look at down there, you'll see it. Subscribe to our newsletter. When you go to compasscomics.com, a little window will pop up, and you can just put your email in there and get on the mailing list. If you haven't done so, please do that. It helps expand the mailing list, and it keeps you informed of announcements, publishing dates, launch dates, that kind of thing, sign up dates for campaigns, sales. We're going to be having a scratch and dent sale for Halloween. So if you need reader copies, they'll be deeply discounted, and you can get these scratch and dent copies that you can beat the shit out of while you read them while you're eating your chicken wings, and not have to worry about it. So, those are the kind of things you'll find out when you sign up. So if you haven't done so, do that very thing. Let's see. Anybody has any questions or comments that we want to focus on here? I thought about doing this outside and having a cigar, but there's no doubt if we did that, one of my neighbors would have fired up his lawnmower. Happens every time. Whenever I want to, just chill, or if I'm going to do a show outside, I can bet you dollars to donuts that that's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to fire up a lawnmower or a weed whacker, and then I'd be really pissed. Let's see here. Okay. I watched Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde the other day. Oh, okay. The Hammer one, yeah, from the 70s. I haven't seen that one. What'd you think of it? Is it good? Is it good enough to maybe put on the list? Sequential Treasure says, congrats on breaking 103K on JF3. Well, thank you. We don't want to stop there. When will I be back on Comics Gay Kings? Well, I tried to get on. I was working on one of the Escape from Monster Island pages that evening, and I told them, I'll be in a little bit late. By the time I got there, you can only have 10 people in on a stream, and they were 10 up. They were 10 full, so I couldn't go on. So I tried. I was on the week before, though. I've been on, that was the only one I missed in a while. Black Ice says, have you seen Cult of the Cobra? If so, what do you think? By the way, I'm really looking forward to the new Joe Frankenstein. Awesome. Thank you. Cult of the Cobra? I don't think so. What's that from? What era is that? I don't think I've seen that. Have you come across the heart-wrenching film Split Second? Nope. I haven't heard of that one. I've used SketchUp for spaceships and mechas. Smart. I've used it for cars and, tech things. Kino says for digital, he added a lot of detail. Well, digital does not mean you can't add a lot of detail. Just depends on your style. You can add even more detail because you got all these brushes with textures and stuff that you can do. Rachel Brinkley, the colors sure bring this story out. Loving on the on Anthony's colors. That's cool. Very Mummy 1998 vibes for panel 2 of the afraid but confident look. Yeah, I actually told Anthony to take a look at that film because he has a caravan scene coming up and he wasn't sure how to do that. And I said, well, look at the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. There's a caravan scene in that. That'll give you some ideas. Kyle wants to know if all the MI and RMI have been shipped out. Haven't gotten an email yet. No, we're halfway through. We're halfway through. So there's many more that will still go out. But just bear in mind, yeah, everybody's getting them early because we weren't going to start shipping book 1 until September, and we're already halfway through. So it's coming soon, my friend. Your flat earth chums will scoff at your horizon. Personally, I think it's great. Well, I don't know anybody that really believes a flat earth. Do I use Photoshop? No. I mean, I have Photoshop. I showed you that on Photoshop because I use that for formatting. But if I'm drawing digitally, I use Procreate. But there's some things I have to import into Photoshop to do. How do you make landscapes look so dynamic? Perspective is the key. Joe Bernardo, what do you use to scan the oversized page in? I have a large flatbed scanner that'll do 11 by 17, so I have to do it in increments and then piece it together in Photoshop. So that can be challenging depending on where the break is on the page. If there's a lot of lines that you have to match up, you know, any kind of warp or off, something being off in the original scan, you know, trying to match all that stuff up can be a pain. And you might have to go in and tweak things and fix it when putting it together. But it wasn't too bad on this one. How long does it take to draw the original? To finish it from blank page to finished piece, it probably takes me, with the type of work schedule I'm doing these days, probably 2 days. I'm averaging like 2 complete pages a week, 2 to 3 pages a week. And that means starting on a blank page, writing dialogue for the page, penciling it, inking it, cleaning it up, scanning it, formatting it, and then adding the gray tones to it, and then calling it a day, and it's done. It's not like just penciling, like when I worked for DC, penciling pages. I used to bang out 2 pages a day, sometimes 2.5 of pencils a day working for them. But now I'm doing everything, and then I have other aspects of the publishing I got to deal with, which includes marketing, streaming, all that kind of stuff, which takes time away. So, but the time that is at the board is productive, and I focus on the quality of it. Like I wouldn't have gone back and fixed those heads if it was for DC, because it'll be fine. I don't have time. I got to stay on a monthly deadline. I don't have to do that here. My thought process is get it right, because I make up the deadlines myself. The creature looks like he'd be a relative of the Chenoo. He has those same eyes, doesn't he? Oh, thank you, Graham. You and Aaron draw the best women's faces. Just beautiful. Well, thank you. Oh, thanks, Past Master Dan, for putting the link in there. Some love for Gary Martin. You're welcome, Rachel. Siblings referring to, I said that I can't draw tech because it's definitely not my wheelhouse. Is creating Jim Lee style spaceships, ray guns, that kind of crap. It's just I struggle with that. So I use um, uh, things like SketchUp, or actually what I've been doing now is using AI as a tool. I'll describe a spaceship type of thing or a piece of tech that I'm looking for, and it'll give me ideas. I use it straight. I don't copy it, but it gives me shapes. It gives me ideas that I can work from. It's like, oh, okay, well, if I bring this around, or that's kind of a cool shape, because everything comes down to shapes and putting them together in the right order. It's sort of a puzzle. And so I've used AI for that, and it's as I've maintained, um, it can be used positively as a tool, but not as a crutch. Is where I draw the line. Letting it do all the work for you. Anthony, no, I did not try the Sumi ink. I'm using the Pelican from Germany. Art T. Bear had suggested it. Um, and it's working out pretty good. I've gotten some really nice blacks on it. Like this is this was done with it. It's smooth on the brush, and it works on the on a pen nib too. Nice to hear that you fight with drawings too. We all do. Joe Kubert might be the only one who didn't. Han shot first says, "Sir, a pleasure to be here, even though we're encroaching upon my anime time." Wink. God bless you for your contributions towards the industry of creatives and art, however. Well, thank you. It's very kind. Henry Thrun is here. Hello. Making her look hot. Cigar Gangster says he purchased the Monster. I'm assuming he means Monster Island on the R2MI campaign. Thank you. Graham, wouldn't using gray tones screw up the colors? Wouldn't using zipatones be better than gray tones? No. Uh, Zipatones is an old-fashioned way of adding a gray tone in. Uh, you would paste it down. It's dot patterns. Um, the reason for that was the printing was different back then. The gray tones will just enhance the colors now. Um, you could put a flat tone over it, and now you've got a darker shade. Um, or if you do a particular gray tone on a separate layer, that gray tone can be converted into a color or a color hold. So no, I think it definitely is great to use the gray tones. Boopy doopy doo. Bretsky the Great is here. Hello there, sir. I'm primarily a brush inker. I use pens as well, but if I have my druthers on large things, I typically, I like to go in with a brush. Oh, Kino Reviews, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Next campaign, I'll purchase a commission. Whoop, whoop. Excellent. Well, that will be October. I'm all out of cigars, but at least I still have tobacco for my pipe. Are you imbibing right now, Gorilla Mar? Are you having a nice pipe? I have a cushy on my gaming seat, like Graham's too. I don't know what that is. Is that what this thing is back here? Is that a cushy? These are great chairs. This is a gaming chair, but it's really great for. I got one for here, and I got one over there for the at the drawing board as well. Much better on my back. Oh, I have a box of Monte Cristo Platinum Toros begging to be set on fire. Do it. Get that lit, son. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. I hear there's going to be another Chenu book. There is. After Escape from Monster Island, the next book is going to be Chenu 77. And we're going to take a look at the Chenu when he first came ashore, if you will, during the blizzard of 77, which was that historic blizzard in Buffalo. Dollars to donuts, or is it credits to Navy beans? Somebody's been watching the landing party. Nice. There's our pal Tom Tuttle in his Traveling Salvation show with $5. Thank you, sir. Hail Graham, got a notification that I've got a package arriving tomorrow. Compass Comics Forever. All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your support. Thank you, everybody that supports these books and independent comics. We're having the time of our lives. Just, creating and working on ideas that other people don't like or didn't want to invest in. As I said before, I pitched Alien Alamo and the Chenu to multiple publishers, and they all turned it down. And those two just killed it for me. This stream is so chill. I fell asleep, and I'm at work. Oh, okay. In response to Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, worked well. Combines Jack the Ripper and the classic Hyde tale with some Burke and Hare thrown in. Okay. I sort of like those 70s Hammer films and the Amicus ones. They're sort of low budget, but they certainly brought it into the era. Like the first one, Dracula AD 1972. Freaking hysterical. It's Dracula fighting hippies. And you're actually rooting for Dracula. It's great. Cult of the Cobra is a black and white movie from 55 and seems to be only available. Okay. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking it was that one. And I think I have seen it. But if I remember right, it's like it's not even a B movie. It's like a C movie. Graham needs to move up to comic emperor status. Ooh. I'm getting a raise. The work of Anthony's that I've seen has been very good. Can't wait to see what he does for you. Yeah, well, you did see. You got to see a bunch of pages that Anthony did, and he's killing it. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Anthony, caravan scene sequence coming along nicely. Expect 5 more pages very soon. All right. Excellent. Is everybody in the chat here backed JOE Frankenstein yet? JOE Frankenstein 3? The link has been put in here a couple times, and it's also pinned to the top of the chat, and it's in the description here of the show. If you haven't, please do so. Please go over to Indiegogo or go over to Compass Comics. You can get to Indiegogo there too. And take a look at what we have to offer. If you never have read any of the Joe Frankenstein books, it's no problem. They're all available on the campaign. And the first two are also available on the Compass Comics website. So you can get a package of all of them together, or you can get the first two and try them out, see if you like them before you back the third. But so you got options, people. You got options. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's there was something in Photoshop where you could click a button and it would pair the two together. Adam Kubert was telling me about it, and I've never been able to find that and make it work. So I just do it the old-fashioned way and piece it together. Oh, it stars Faith Demergue, Richard Long, and David Jansen, among others. Kino Reviews reminds you not to forget the super chats. He can say that. I can't because it makes me sound greedy. But he's right. Yeah, there's like a library. You can type in things that you're looking for: boats, cars, trucks, anything. I mean, you can use SketchUp to create your own stuff, but the learning curve on that is through the roof for me. I don't have the time for that. So if I need something, say I need an M4 rifle, semi-automatic or fully automatic rifle, I can put in M4 and it'll come up with the 3D thing that I can turn and spin, so that way I can, put it in as a blue line at the guy holding it so that it looks right and I got all the details. But the figure is still drawn, traditionally. What's your timetable to get a book done and shipped out, or does it vary? Just curious. It varies. Depends on the complexity of the book. It depends on when it launches. Uh, uh, so it depends on the printer schedule too. So I try to come up with a fulfillment date ahead of, for the campaign, which you have to do. That is realistic based upon my 40 years of doing this, and so far I've gotten it down. So I haven't. The only book that I've had that has shipped late was Two-Fisted Manly Tales, and that was because of the printer schedule. I couldn't get that on the presses in time for it to hit the date that I needed it to do so. But everything else I've shipped as promised or early. Oh, N2 paints for £5 sterling. I think that's the pound sign, isn't it? What do you think will happen to Marvel and DC given that the mainstream comic space is shrinking? We will get a renaissance, or will it spiral more? It's hard to say what will happen. If they don't make changes, I suspect it'll spiral, and the impatient corporate companies that own them, who really don't care about the printing end of things, the publishing end of things. All they care about is the IPs. I think that they'll just license things out, to other people interested in doing something with the characters to keep the trademarks and copyrights alive. That's my guess. But you never know. Somebody could ride in on a white horse and turn things around, and you know, uh, get the publishing back up and moving again. You just never know. Bane is still in my top 5 Batman villains. Any chance you could show us your authentic luchador style Bane mask? I'm planning on making one for a future cosplay. Where is it? Yeah, I can do that. Hold on. I'll go get it. All right. I will break you. How's that? Actually, yeah, this is made by the guys that make all those luchador masks, and it was made in Mexico and was given to me in Mexico City. Really great. Sibling Vaughn says he can't wait to get his coasters. They're really great. I've got them in our living room up there. I got one next to my table, and Julie uses one. And it depends on what the mood is. I'll pick a different comic and put that one out, or throw the Compass Comics logo up. What's really nice is that the glasses don't stick to it. You know, like if your glass sweats, sometimes you pick up a coaster and it's still stuck to it. I haven't had that happen yet, so I think they're going to work out really great. When can we expect a Mr. Lazarus figurine? I want to paint one. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Are you going to go to the Dark Universe from the Universal based on the universe? You mean like for 31 Days of Monsters doing some of their Dark Universe flops? Then no, I am not. Of course, because speaking of Dracula AD 1972, of course, because hippies are the worst. But I would feel sorry for Dracula having to suck their blood. I don't know. Maybe the count got a little high. You know. Hey man, that would be funny. That would be funny. Have Dracula, sucking on some really high hippie, and then he gets high in turn. Yes, that is the one with Carolyn Monroe. Well, Kevin Thomas says that he read both Monster Island and Return to another quality Compass Comics product. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Okay, what did you think of Black Friday starring Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi? Not the best pairing of the two. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as the Black Cat, which is just a wackadoodle pre-code film. This one is pretty much like a gangster pick. It's okay. Should do a whole show wearing that mask, huh? Maybe show up on the Kings wearing it. Say Graham couldn't make it. Oh, cool. He's planning on making one with the nose and mouth openings more akin to the original design. Yeah, just like your avatar. Yeah, that is my original design. Although the eyes were open too in the very original design, but I like the eyes blocked out better. Oh, Joe's saying that Universal's making a theme park based on the Universal classic monsters. Oh, that would be cool. I would definitely like to go to that. Do you ever sell or auction your storyboards? Well, they're not storyboards. You're talking about the original art. Uh, Not usually. That flat file back there holds a lot of originals, and I've got FedEx boxes just piled in the basement area, storage area of original art. I stopped selling it about 20 years ago, and I sell off pieces every now and then. And I had a bunch of pieces up on Heritage Auction last year, I think it was, that did very, very well. But I don't want to flood the market. And, I'm just, it could be my retirement or it could be, you know, something to hand down to my kids down the road. So I've held on to it. I still have a lot of really cool key pieces of artwork. Uh, so I'm just holding on to them. But commissions I do as part of the campaigns. So okay, so we covered that. What else is going on here that we want to talk about? Uh what's going on with you guys? Anything cool? Anything happening in the world of comics that I'm unaware of because my nose is down to the grindstone working on pages? Had my grandbaby over today, and God, she gets cuter every day. I can't believe her. I had a guy come over to check the electrical system today at the house. It was part of a package service, and I don't think I'll be doing that again. It's like they always can find something wrong that you can need to replace. And oh yeah, these breakers, these are old style and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, everything works, dude. I've been in this house. We built this house 30 years ago, and everything works. Well, how much would it cost to fix these breakers or change them to your code or whatever it was? It was like $9,000. Like, bye bye, we're done. Yeah, that's what it was. He took the box off and he's like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "What do you mean, whoa?" Everything works here. Lights come on when I hit the switch. Yeah, I swear everybody. I went to the dentist the other day, and oh, it's time for your bite wing X-rays. I'm like, no, I don't think so. Oh, why not? I said, well, because my teeth are in perfect condition. Nothing hurts. And if something does, we'll do an x ray then. How about that? I'm not here because I was forced to subscribe to leave this moronic comment. Anyway, hi, Graham. Well, hello, Craig. And you should have subscribed anyway. But it's good to have you. The reason that you have to do that is because the other night on the landing party, we had a bot attack. And it was like watching, Wall Street ticker thing going by. It's just all these bots putting in all the same crap over and over and over. So I had to change that so that only subscribers can comment, and it really is as it should be. The folks that take the time to subscribe to the channel and get the updates, get the notifications. They're the ones I want to hear from. Agamemnon Fireman for $10. Thank you. That's a good cigar. Hey, Graham, could you please tell me the name of whiskey that was at the after party at a Garden State Comic Fest back in June? I want to get some for myself. Thanks again to you and Kevin Altieri for the Bain Commission. Oh, that's you. Okay. Yeah, that came out really great. Well, there was a bunch of different whiskeys there. So I'm not sure which one you're referring to. If it came out of the Compass Comics bottle that was given me by the great Bretsky, who's in here, that was Eagles Rare bourbon that was in there. If it wasn't from that bottle, then I don't know what it was, because I think there was a few bottles that went around. Can you please show us the Frankenstein monster on your shelf? Is that from Frankenstein versus the Wolfman? Which one? I got dozens of Frankensteins up here. This one is from the Marx Toy Company. They made a bunch of the Universal monsters back in the early 1970s. It's a Glenn Strange Frankenstein. This one here, I'm not going to take it down because it'll fall, is from the Son of Frankenstein. He's got the woolly thing on, so that's how you know it's Son of Frankenstein. And this, I don't know if you guys saw this before. This is really cool. This is the subway rocket that I designed from Detective Comics 667. Isn't that cool? They really nailed it. Then they used artwork from my comic back here in the background. Yeah, it was really neat. Love that. It's made by that English company. I can't remember what they're called now. Cigar Gangster wants to know if I've checked out the Universal Monsters channel on Freevee. Yeah, it's on Pluto too. I watch it on Pluto. I put it on in the background sometimes when I'm working. If there's a decent movie on, they show a lot of crap on there, and they, because not everything's classic. Particularly if you catch any of those Inner Sanctum movies with Lon Chaney Jr., they're terrible. Just real sleepers based on the radio program. But what are you going to do? It's free. Graham, when Kamala assumes office and implements 25% unrealized gains tax on things like homes and businesses and art and other forms of expensive collectibles, will you sell art then? Well, first off, she ain't getting in. So I'll just stop right there. We can't afford to have her get in. Did you see her interview yesterday? I didn't watch it, but I watched some excerpts from it, and I watched the first question, and it was a word salad again. She didn't answer the question as was asked. She just danced around it. So I can't wait for the debate. I'm hoping it's like a bloodbath. Eagle Moss, that's it. Eagle Moss. We're talking about Eagles Rare. Eagle Moss is the toy company, the British toy company that made the subway rocket. Past Master Dan says it was 18 minutes of blathering. Oh God, that interview was a train wreck. Even on a friendly network, they cut out 20 plus minutes of it since it was pre-taped. One can only imagine how good that shit was. Camel Toe's interview was a train wreck. Trump will eat her alive at the debate. Yeah, well, Tampon Timmy didn't do so well either. Playing the victim as far as like his what he had said about his service and going overseas. He acted like, he just misspoke and people took it out of context. And his wife, who's an English teacher, tells him, he doesn't always say it the right way. It's like, you said it the right way. You said it the way you wanted it. So you can knock that shit off. We ain't buying it. Okay. No, I think I got it. Yes, grammar. He doesn't use the right grammar. Grammar. That's what I've said. Yeah, it's great. Do you mean English? You can't express yourself in English clearly and cogently. You're a governor of a state, for God's sake. One that's burning to the ground, but it is a state. Oh, that's a great show, dude. Have Gun Will Travel, yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite westerns. That and the Rifleman. Yeah, if you don't like all this commie shit that's going around, and that's what happened when the bots attacked. I was doing a Star Trek episode, and I said it's the first episode of Star Trek out of two others that would come later in the seasons. That was a direct indictment of communism. And before you knew it, the flurry of bots, probably from Russia or China, it's like, how dare you say that about our beloved communism? Yep, and then they attacked. Hey, did you guys see that Skynet became self-aware last night or this morning at 2 a.m., according to Terminator 2? So just throwing that out there. Don't want to ruin your weekends or anything, but Ooh, I like gifts. Sent you a small gift. You should get it early next week. Hope you enjoy it. Well, thank you, Chris. I'm sure I will. Yeah, I'm gonna get the popcorn ready. I'm gonna get a nice big bag of popcorn, sit there and watch the debate. Ha! Past Master Dan went into the comic shop today and mentioned CG. The manager went into his office and left me with the clerk. Wow. He just walked away. He just turned his back and walked away like he didn't even have a conversation about it. Wow. Well, he'll be out of business soon enough. Cold shoulder. Wow. Nice business you're running there, pal. Maybe try a little harder. Jeez. Well, we got a long weekend coming up. Don't know what I'm going to do. I think we're going to have a cookout here. Have the grandbaby over, maybe. But the couple might want to have, kind of a weekend to themselves. So no big plans. I'll probably be working Monday at some point, working on some pages or something. There's no rest for the weary. He said that nonsense about Ethan Van Sciver. Well, he's made up his mind then, I guess, hasn't he? What is your most prized comic in your collection? I would say it's a tie. Hulk 1 from 1962 and Fantastic Four #1 from 1961. Those are probably my two most prized comics. Certainly the most valuable. Those would be the ones I'd grab if I had to run out of the house. I wish Labor Day wasn't a commie holiday, but we can always repurpose it into something way more American, like always. Yeah, we always do. Hot dogs, day off, swimming, whatever. We're coming to the end of summer. I mean, technically it goes till sort of the end of September. And really, the month of September is an awesome month in the Northeast. Bugs are gone. Temperatures are nice during the day. Gets cool in the evening. Great for sleeping. All of that. I love this time of year. I love gearing up for um, 31 Days of Monsters and watching my horror and monster movies. It's just, I love the colors. I love the smell of the season. It's great. Why do libs like keeping geriatrics in office on politics, yet a 40 to 50-year-old established, experienced people get chased out of comics and other entertainment fields? That's a question for the ages, my friend. The ages of 6 to 8. That was my ripoff of Dorothy Parker, the great critic and writer, part of the Algonquin Round Table. She was talking about a writer one time, and she said she just had this wit that was scathing. She said about his book, he says he's a writer for the ages of 6 to 8. I love that. There we go. Hail Cigar Gate King. Yeah, bro. Thoughts on the set photo of Ben in Fantastic Four? I think it's awesome. I think the thing looks great. The face is the key, and the shape looks great. I'm very encouraged by that. But by the same token, I'm also quite confident that Marvel will screw it up. They love to put their eggs in that Pedro Pascal basket. I dislike that guy. I don't think he's that great an actor, and he's certainly not doesn't fit the mold of Reed Richards. All right, he's an actor. He might be able to pull it off. Who knows? If the writing is good, which is the big thing, I just don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in them with their woke retconning and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it looks great, but Henry Cavill looked great as Superman too. And Batman versus Superman, I almost walked out of. So, what do you think about your Bills? How they'll do without Diggs? We're going to be better without Diggs. Diggs was a bit of a drama queen and prima donna, and he caused some problems on the bench. So yeah, he's a great receiver, but I think we got some good receivers now. I'm just worried about Matt Milano getting his bicep tear and how he's out for the season. However, we're supposed to have this new young linebacker who's supposed to be the bomb. So we'll see if he can step up and learn the patterns and all that kind of stuff that he's got to do, and step up and get it done. Has Chuck Dixon turned you on any of the English translation Italian Western comics he's been reading? They look incredible. Well, yeah, I mean, I've known about the European Westerns and stuff, and seen them. They're beautiful. Those guys, the Italians, the Spaniards, South Americans, they draw high adventure shit so good. They're really, really talented. Ouch. I've been making fun of that thing by saying Ben has Down's thing drum. You don't like the way he looks? I thought he looked great. And I know in post they'll, you know, fix things up, you know, so it doesn't look like a mask over a guy's head. Yeah, I'll accept the Joker with a mustache, i.e. Cesar Romero, but I won't accept Reed Richards. Unless he can make his mustache stretch. That's what I'd want to see. You know, him like, you know, be tied up or something. You know, he can't move, but he get his mustache to come out and wrap around somebody. Fantastic Four is cursed when it comes to adaptations, it seems. I tried to watch that, I guess it's the 2010s one. The one with the black Johnny Storm. And the kind of young versions of them. What a piece of crap. I turned it off. Couldn't watch it. Well, is that what it was? 2015? Miles Teller's a good actor, but he was wrong for that movie. Everybody was miscast in that movie. By the way, I think the Thing and the FF are going to be based off John Byrne's run mainly, with some of Jack's concepts. The colors, the way Thing looks, makes me think that's the way they are going. I think the head of the Thing looks like Jack to me. You know, you can see that double ridge, whereas like Byrne just kind of had that plateau ridge. Oh yeah, and then there's this. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's another thing. That was strike one. Pedro Pascal was strike two. So, alrighty, guys, we got to get this weekend started. So, I'm gonna check out here, and I want to thank everybody for coming in and spending some time this afternoon with me. And I hope you enjoyed seeing the original artwork for these projects that are coming up and that are funding now. And that if you haven't done so, that you'll take a look at it and possibly back it. Go to compasscomics.com and you'll find all the back issues of everything I've published. And you can sign up and get on the mailing list so that you can know when new projects are launching, sign up dates and all that kind of stuff. Because I try to encourage as many people as possible to take advantage of the signups, you know, the pre-launch signups, because the way we do it, those are the first books that go out. You know, it doesn't matter what you ordered. If you're a sign up and you use the sign up queue, then your books are the first one out. And then once those are done, then we go through the various perk levels. So, you know, if you can't wait and you want your books as soon as possible, that's the best way. It doesn't cost anything. Plus, you also get like a sign up card, you know, a collectible trading card that's unique and different and nobody else can get. So keep that in the back of your mind when we launch Escape from Monster Island in October, and get on the subscription list so you'll know when sign up time comes, and you can be and then you'll get your books first. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, has a good Labor Day if you've got the day off. And I look forward to seeing everybody on the Kings on Monday, and the landing party on Wednesday, and the Bros on Tuesday. So have a great one, gang, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.